Welcome back to Yu-Gi-Oh! The Duelists of the Rosas. Teo, take us away.
That boss Warfields.
Alright, Richard Slysheen of York. What kind of name is Slysheen?
If that was the actual
I
name.
see you got rose cards. You must be the one of Lord Crawford's Rose Crusaders. Your timing couldn't
Pause for effect. Go ahead.
be better.
It's just as he planned.
I heard you get landed. I rush my troops to the front. However, I arrived much too early. Very punctuality. It will be some time before Lord Crawford and his men arrive. In the meantime, why don't we play
Children's card game.
duel or
Okay.
two? By the way, if I lose, I still win. I learned a trick or two from Seto, but I like to try now.
Oh, this ought to be good.
It's not every day that you had the opportunity to play the great King Richard III of England. How about it?
Ah, so that's who he's supposed to be.
There you go, Dwebs. Did you know that Richard III was actually...
A mustachioed generic bad guy.
There you go, Dwebs.
Sure. Yes.
I heard
Yep, we
about
have-
historical evaluation, but this is ridiculous.
I love how for this climatic battle we have this ever so relaxing and soothing music here. It sounds like
that's
something you'd hear at a spa.
That's the traditional battle theme that's been for duels in this. Typically the final boss is a different one. It's more the fact that the feel in this is very simple. I guess
Yeah.
they want to have the more direct confrontation duel to duel and everything, but compared to the weird shit that you faced before, this is surprisingly different.
Yeah, that's
I guess
sorry.
it's to show that you're really just heading up each other at this point.
I mean, I do appreciate it. It makes the duel less frustrating because, I'll take anything after the whole thing with Pakora where they intentionally purposely filled a bloody field with crush card spaces that makes going through the field annoying as fuck, So, sure, by all means, let's do that.
Well, then have at him.
Indeed. So yeah, let's beat the Richard III in a children's cardboard game. Anyway, it's like Teo said when he was voicing him in Forbidden Memories. Like, there's no point in resisting. Admit your defeat, or because it's not in a children's card game. But the basic point that I was trying to make was that I feel like the game. I still do prefer Forbidden Memories over this game because Forbidden Memories, for as grindy as that game also was, at the very least, once you got a powerful deck, you were all set. In here, you really have to basically readjust your deck for every single opponent because of the deck cost mechanic. And again, I understand they don't want us to build a powerful deck and get to a point where we can just wipe the floor with everybody in this game. I understand, but there are surely you could have come up with better ways to, make to keep the challenge up, because I don't really like this idea of forcing me to take out my stronger cards just because they make the deck way too high in the deck cost thingy. I don't know, I prefer in Yu-Gi-Oh games where I'm just allowed to, as long as I have powerful cards, I can build my powerful deck and I can feel the satisfaction of wiping the floor with people. Dibs, I feel
I didn't hear no bell.
That was Kaiba knocking on the door, ringing the bell, saying, "Hey, you stole my plan," or something like that.
Sorry, dude. Judge Man ain't got shit on my Gate Guardian. Watch this. Or not. Don't watch that because I decided to skip. There you go. Yeah, as you can see, Richard III is not... as long as you have a powerful deck on your hand, and his deck cost is very high, so you can very easily build a powerful deck if you have powerful cards. So, as long as you have powerful cards, you should be able to defeat this guy with little to no difficulty, to be honest with you. The Bear Trap. Disposable trap that triggers against a monster that's 2,000 attack points or higher. Okay. Let's keep... well, no need for that. I'm kind of almost at the point where I'm almost winning, so... might as well keep
It's
going.
kind of a whip compared to how it was in Forbidden Memories.
Yeah. I guess they're trying to emphasize that he's the king, so he's not particularly experienced in the card game as much as Seto or something.
In general, it seems that only Seto knows how to make this shit work. So.
Alright. I guess that's why he's quote-unquote the chosen one of the legacy or whatever it is. Alright, next. Let's see what we have to put on. Still no Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Yeah, that's the other thing. Remember, much like Forbidden Memories, this game works on a way where you can only have up to 5. You always have to have 5 cards in your hand. Meaning, if you only have 1 card on your hand, you will draw 4 cards. You know, so yeah. In both of these games, there is a legitimate strategy of possibly just if you don't have any good card, just discard all of them. Yeah, discard all of them, so you'll draw 5 cards in the next turn. You know.
If it existed back then, it would have been a nightmare for an Infernity player. just for very brief answer, in case no one doesn't understand. The strategy involved for a particular archetype involves not having cards in your hand. You are supposed to basically use whatever you can, because the effects of the monsters gets activated, you know, when you don't have cards in your hand.
Fuck. That's okay. I'll keep playing and I'll keep getting cards until there you go. Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Now I can just wait until I have enough stars. All right. What to do? I guess I'll put a trap. Why not? I play a card face down. Make your move. Oh, never mind. Now I can. Okay, hold on. Oh, never mind. It's because never mind. I forgot that I already had played a card. Never mind. All right, go ahead, dude. Oh no, he has 4 monsters. Well, I have none. Whatever shall I do? There you go. Problem solved. There you go.
You know, throughout the entire history of Yu-Gi-Oh! In anime, I'm surprised no one's ever, at least not from what I've seen, no one's ever thought to just like poison the other duelist.
I can tell you that I forgot the name of a character. One character in GX, as he's doing these combat doubles, as a fucking gun.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. Although how that gun works tends to vary from each.
Yeah, it's a bit specific.
I mean, it's not quite poisoning those, but there is that duel between Mai and Merrick in the Battle City tournament, where every time she loses a monster, she loses a memory of someone, like it's tearing her away. I mean, that's something.
And then there's Dark Dimension duels or Shadow Realm duels.
Oh god, I can imagine that what Tio said earlier. If it's alright, the person who loses this duel will be shot.
Well, Shadow Realm duels are kind of on a similar par there. Basically, with Shadow Realm duels, instead of it being holograms, it's actually all real pain
real
that
life.
the players can feel.
Go ahead.
Alright.
I lost!
After all that careful planning.
All
And
right.
that's it.
Oh, by the way.
Well, what do you expect from a beginner, eh? Don't let it power you.
Oh, so you were a beginner all this time.
The important thing is how you perform on the battlefield.
Oh, so you're just gonna cut our head off?
With the support of Lord Crawford and the Rose Crusaders, victory will be ours for the taking.
Okay. I'm afraid it won't be that easy, sire.
I guess that's you, dude. Oh, what?
Oh.
There you go. I actually forgot what we was. Okay.
Lord Crawford, it's about time. And what exactly are you talking about, may I ask, huh?
Oh, snap.
I fear that aside from Seto, all the Rose Crusaders have fallen at the hands of the Rose Duelists. Yes. They were beaten by the very person you just had the pleasure of dueling. Sire, I present you the Rose Duelist, probably. Yeah, the Rose Duelist.
Again,
So
it's you.
let's kidnap him.
What?
And may I add that I've decided to join Yugi and the Lancastrians in their bid for power.
So yeah, basically, I'm joining the winning team.
Yeah, basically.
so long,
Hello
you
to 10
suckers.
dialogue.
My match with the Rose Duelist taught me the true meaning of power.
It's all about buying the best deck.
The Duelist may be even more powerful than Seto and the Rose Crusaders. That would mean that...
We're boned.
Well, not me, because I've turned the winning side. Yugi is likely to succeed in landing his troops. There you go, Dwebs. Yugi's gonna kill Richard III. With the greatest duel master backing the Lancastrians, the Yorkists are bound to be defeated.
Sucks to be you guys.
I would be a fool not to back the winning horse. There you go, too. Or sorry, Joe.
Oh, he's
sorry.
pragmatic.
Yep.
And what of your hostage son, Lord Crawford?
I never cared for much for him anyway. You wouldn't dare touch a hair on his head if you and your troops are defeated.
Why
Desperate
wouldn't
action,
we?
dude.
Oh my, I believe Yugi and his army has arrived. What do you mean, have arrived? It's showtime, sire.
Also, I love how he just shrugs off the fact that his son is captured like, oh no, you've been defeated. You wouldn't dare.
There you go, here's some...
People are actually fighting and dying.
August 22nd,
Holy cow.
1485, the final battle of the Wars of the Roses commences on Bosworth Field.
You know, given the fact that battle strategies were planned with games of chess, I guess it's not too outlandish to think that card games could be involved in the
Sometime
war.
Yeah, and Richard III lost
and
his life.
Bosworth died.
Off screen.
Oh.
I guess we're to assume he got his head chopped off.
Oh, here we go. A horse. My kingdom for a horse. Yeah. There's the iconic line, everybody. They said it.
Apparently now we're in apocalypse now.
Richard III falls in battle.
And
Can I at least hold my
Pegasus
crown
takes the
while I
crown?
die?
Yeah, Yugi gets the
Oh,
crown.
and
Remember-
you
One
get
that crowns you.
Remember, he's supposed to be Henry IV.
Any
Lo
bastard
here, this long usurped royalty from the temples of this wretch have I plucked to grace thy brows. Okay, now all of a sudden they start speaking in ye old English. Wear it, enjoy it, and make much of it.
And then he bashes Yuki with the crown, and it's like, I'm the king
The victory
now.
brought about by Yugi's troops signaled the end of over 330 years of rule under the Plantagenet? Plantagenet. My thanks to you, Pedro. Without your help, this victory would not be ours.
For context, it's the same royal line that gave the villain to, William Wallace from Pareja.
Earning the respect of Lord Crawford and enlisting his aid ensured the fall of
His pants.
Richard III. I cannot thank you enough.
What happened to Seto?
Don't worry, Theo. We'll see.
Seto died back on his
I owe you my thanks as well, for I would have hated to be on the losing side.
Can you be more obvious?
Now all that's left of the enemy is that despicable Seto. Lord Crawford, do you know where he might be?
He's behind you.
Knowing Seto, my best guess would be Stonehenge. Of course,
Ah.
it all comes full circle. I see.
Right where it began.
I hate to admit it, but I doubt that we have power enough to take out a duelist of his level.
If only we had a protagonist in our midst.
I must ask a favor of you once again. Face the evil one and end this frat once and for all.
And then
But he was
history
such a
will give
polite
you
guy.
all credit.
Master, let's go. I don't know who says that line.
It was probably the equivalent of Yugi's servant, the blue skin guy.
Alright, once again, different deck costs, so we need to rebuild our deck real quick. Alright.
I kind of get the feeling that despite Seto being more polite and everything, the game really wants you to push instead for Yugi's campaign.
I like how the Yugi literally call. Go on.
I think I'll give the game credit. I feel like whether or not it wants you to go towards Yugi, it doesn't make that obvious because, no, to be fair, both sides do have their merits. And granted, either way, history still stays, proper here and there. But, granted, we haven't seen for full how Yuki's campaign goes, so maybe there's something, like, well, maybe the ending is unique to this or that here and there.
Probably.
But, I mean, to give him credit, I feel like you can have fun with pretty much either campaign. Like, I don't feel like it feels like the game is necessarily edging you towards either one. Now, granted, narratively, normally Seto is the bad guy. But again, the fact that he is surprisingly not a jerk in this, and okay, to be fair, it's not like Yuki's a jerk either. It's literally just because his servant guy is just a terrible communicator.
I also, but that being said, I love how Yugi calls Seto, quote unquote, the evil one.
Well, in ye old England, enemy of the war and whatnot.
Not just that, Joe, but the usual history is written by the winners.
So, Dwebs, so there you go, Dwebs. British history as told by Konami.
Do you have any reserves on the matter?
I'm pretty sure back then, with the exception of baby Pegasus, the knights, people back then didn't have those kinds of hairstyles.
Who knows? Maybe.
Not to mention, I'm not sure how many people of royalty back then had Egyptian ancestry. Other than that, seems legit.
I actually do have another fun fact to talk about, but I'll wait till we're in the duel itself. All right, moving on. All right, let's duel Seto in Stonehenge. All right, Jova, you're up.
Doris, you're here sooner than I expected. I knew that Crawford would turn on us one day, but I didn't.
So why didn't you do anything about it before this point?
Hold on. I didn't expect the tide of battle to turn so soon.
Huh.
Thankfully, I'm adaptable. Actually, Crawford's betrayal and the fall of the Yorkists matter not to me. All I hoped for from this tiresome struggle was to find an opponent worthy of my attention.
Of course.
Indeed.
When I knew you'd been summoned, I chose to wait. Each time a member of my Rose Crusaders fell before you, I shivered in anticipation. Once you beat the last member, I knew you were ready to face me. Gave me one heck of a Y-boner. Long have I starved to best a duelist equal in power to me. Hungered to best such an opponent. In battle.
Okay.
Some things really do never change. You wish to have my rose card? Then take it from me! Face me in battle, duelist!
Okay then. It's time to duel.
This Seto guy needs to get laid.
Big time. Alright. Actually, my favorite version of that quote is the version that Lucoribo does with Bakura. That Kaiba bloke needs to get shagged.
I don't remember if we did got these different theme also for Yugi's battle in Seto's campaign. Probably.
Tio, you're ruining the illusion of us being all remembering gods who remember every single thing.
Well, it's only Pedro who's the protagonist.
Yeah, I'm the Rose Duelist. That being said, I mean, I don't feel much of a protagonist because I literally been kidnapped by Seto. So at the very least, this is actually no, not by Seto. Sorry, you're right. No, by Solomon.
That's the thing. Seto is literally the guy who promises to reward you and send you back home, and let's remember, he kept you all those promises.
Yeah, true. But in the Yugi campaign, he instead.
Well, remember, even in the Yugi campaign, he's like, whatever. I respect your decision. Sure, we'll be enemies, but he still is polite about it.
Although it's apparently because he was cultivating this massive boner, for you to be a proper opponent.
Yeah. Like I said, and yet we have Yugi calling him the evil one. But then again, the Yugi of this game is probably one of those who like everybody who's not with me is against me type of guy. Yeah. Okay. Here's a fun thing, too, that you'll find interesting about the Portuguese dub while we're at it. Okay. Basically, too, I don't know how it is over there. Probably it's the same, but just to check. Okay. Unlike the English language, we put our adjectives after the nouns, whereas they say big building, we say building big, because basically over here, Jova, we put the adjectives after the nouns instead of before. So, obviously, the words blue eyes, white dragon mean a dragon with blue eyes. A white dragon with blue eyes, sorry. Right? Here's the problem. The guys who translated the names of the cards in the dub apparently didn't get the memo that in English the adjectives come before the nouns. So they literally translated blue eyes, white dragon as the blue eyes of the white dragon. As if to say the monster
eyes of the white dragon.
As if the monster is not actually the dragon itself, but just the eyes.
Oh lord. Okay, so what you're gonna do is have the eyes attack, whereas the dragon itself, he can take a break.
Yeah.
Or she, if we're going off of that thing about the Blue-Eyed Dragon being a reincarnation of Kaiba's flipping lava.
It's abundantly clear. It's one of two things, Jova. They either didn't give a fuck, or they didn't even know how English is supposed to work. Either of them, equally egregious, in my opinion. If you don't know how to translate English, why are you in the business of anime dubs? You morons! Trust me, Theo. Even back in the early 2000s, as a teenager, I could have done a better job on my own translating these episodes. I'm not even kidding you when I say that.
Wow.
I'm not kidding.
How was your English speaking at the time?
It was good, because I've been learning English since I was 5 years old, because my mom actually sent me to, after school, I would go to a private school that was meant to teach English. So I was learning English since I was let me rephrase that. Not 5, I was 7 or so. I forgot the exact time. But the point is, when I was around 7 or 8, I started learning English. So I started learning English as an early language, and I actually managed to really learn it very quickly. So by the time I got to the early 2000s, by the time I got to the late 90s and early 2000s, I was already very fluent in English to the point where I could play video games well. That's why I was able to play Metal Gear Solid for the first time and actually understand, because I actually knew English by that point. Trust me, I could have done a better job translating the bloody episodes.
I probably wouldn't, because again, my country, teaches English as a secondary language since elementary school, so very early on in age, and we do have the edutainment classic programs that also do help on that. But as I told our families haven't run, I wasn't, either I probably did not memorize it well, or I did not do it on a colloquial, proper kind of level, more in depth. This is why when it came to Final Fantasy VII, I had basically my father to coach me, through the basic point of a dialogue. He knew English, but not to a point of wanting to translate me every single line. So he's saying the characters are doing these kind of things, and imagination of a child also combined with imagery also helped, filling in the gaps. But otherwise, yes, I also got taught English relatively early on. I can tell you that my country school does not really prepare you too much to be, as properly, ready to speak with a native English speaker, unless you actually perform very specific, foreign language kind of schools. Let me just tell you the basic.
I was talking about the names earlier. Okay, Theo, here's another egregious one that's hilarious. That bit when they're about to take Yugi's grandpa to the hospital, and Theo's like, Joey, Tristan and I will take Yugi's grandpa to the hospital. Why don't you go back and cheer for Yugi? Okay, simple, no problem there. Here's how she here's how the Portuguese tale works as a tale. Apparently, they didn't import the comma from the original 4-kid script. As a result, she says, Joey, Tristan, and I, Joey, Tristan, and I will take Yugi's grandpa, as in, she's literally talking to Joey and refers to him in the third person. As if to say, Joey, Tristan, and I will take Yugi's grandpa to the hospital. Why don't you go back? Wait, if Joey is going to help you take... see, even if you don't have context from the original English episodes, the dialogue makes no sense.
Wow.
It's
well, again, following the one small snippet as well, because apparently it might be a thing also in other countries' languages, at least in terms of translation stuff. I don't know if it was actually a proper dub of it or not, because I only go so far as what I've listened. I mentioned in previous parts that this guy called Ranked and Yu-Gi-Oh! Who, has videos talking about, the card game, its archetypes and everything, more tongue-in-cheek and everything, very comedy-based. But he is from a country in Eastern Europe, the middle of the Balkans. And in one of these videos, particularly a live stream where he is more, relaxed in talking a bit more, stuff instead of following a script review, he did mention to the friend that he has on which he was doing the podcast with, that apparently in his country, I don't know if it was specifically for the anime, but probably because of the way the cards looked, Blue Eyes White Dragon, he says it's called Blue Eyes Blue Dragon, which sort of makes sense because Blue Eyes White Dragon in the anime is colored to resemble more the color blue and white, the one in the card.
Yeah.
And Red Eyes Black Dragon instead is called Hell Dragon.
I understand the logic too, but Blue Eyes Blue Dragon sounds so redundant. Like it doesn't sound.
Yeah, it kind of is.
It doesn't roll off the tongue nearly as well as Blue Eyes White Dragon. I mean, I understand the logic, but I don't know. I don't think it was worth it.
No, definitely. Also, I just noticed for this particular battlefield, you have modern type windmills.
Yes, apparently.
Like, this doesn't make sense with the setting. Make them old-fashioned if you have to present the field.
Maybe they're holograms. I don't know.
I get it, but it's probably the way they represent this for the multiplayer, which that kind of ignores the stipulations of this time setting and just adopts the basic rule, but it's you and your friends who do it. But for the campaign, it kind of doesn't make sense to have that specific anachronistic elements. And I know that it's kind of pedantic because this is a game where the different types of elements involve stuff like lava, bottom pit, particular, bottomless pits and stuff like that. I get it, It kind of sticks out, however. That's what I'm saying.
Basically. Alright. When Jova comes back, I'll talk about another, probably the most egregious error that they've made. Okay, let me put it this way.
Do tell.
Well, okay. The whole Yugi, these guys suck, you bet they're tough as nails, that's the most egregious error from a grammatical standpoint. But in terms of not understanding the material, as in the cards themselves, this is probably the most egregious. During the duel between Yugi and Panic in the Duelist Kingdom, there's a bit where Panic goes, I still have my free monsters, and then he lists all the free monsters, so I'll skip that. And then after that, I'll end your monster. I'll end with your cards, and after your cards expires, the Swords of Revealing Light. Okay. In the Portuguese dubtail, they literally say, I have my monsters, and they will finish off your monster, the Swords of Revealing Light. I'm not kidding you. They call the Swords of Revealing Light a monster card. I am not even. That's how much they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
I do wonder if they called it a monster card because, as you recall,
the early
first season
seasons for
Yu-Gi-Oh was
wild,
very weird. Now, granted, it was never called a monster card in any of the dubs, but I wonder if Portuguese dubs' logic was, he's able to attack that, so it's a monster card. Granted, maybe that's giving them too much credit. I'm just thinking
See-
maybe for that one instance they had a legit reason.
See, here's the problem with what you just said, Jova. You're clearly putting a lot more thought into this than the actual people that made the dub. That's your problem right there.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, this dub sounds legendarily bad.
Oh, it is. Like I said, Jova, there's plenty of memes in Portuguese social media about it because it's so infamous for being one of our worst dubs. It's terrible. But it's laughably
Did it
terrible.
get better with later seasons?
Yes and no. The translations got better. I will give them that. By the time we got to the Battle City season, the translations started getting better. They're still not great necessarily, but definitely by the time we got to the Battle City tournament, they actually started trying somewhat. Unfortunately, by the time we got to the third season, aka the virtual world season, unfortunately by that point, basically what happened was after season 2 of that ended, there was a stop. There was a period where there was a lack of ratings or something because they didn't immediately go straight to season 3 dubbing it. They only started dubbing it later, and when they did come back to finally start dubbing it again, not all the actors returned. So, and a lot of people did start wondering, why are some of the actors different? I mean, it was still the same studio doing the dub, but I guess some of the actors had moved on to better things, including that incredibly talented actor who was no longer playing Joey now. He probably thought, okay, no, I'm gone. Fuck this shit, I'm gone.
Greener pastures.
Definitely, and I don't blame him at all. Nowadays, the dubs of Yu-Gi-Oh animes are much different. They got for example, for the new movie, they got an entire new cast to dub that movie. And to be fair, the new dubs are much better. I actually never saw the Portuguese dub of Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, but it's probably not much better than watching it in any other language.
Probably.
So,
Well, I can tell you basically the same for my country, but
Look, it's one of those cases where gone. Well done, Duelist. I may have lost, but my heart sings with the joy of having faced you in battle. Oh my god, he's not even a
we
sore
need to
loser
leave you
like
for a
Seto.
moment to relieve or something.
and there you go. We got all the White Rose cards.
Again,
And
in this
Pedro's like,
version,
can I go home now?
this version of Seto remains quite polite. 'Twas a duel to be remembered. I take great pride in the fact that I fall by your hand. Okay, this would probably be the point where some people would think that this is a fan fiction. Wait, and if you believe that, I'll sell you some swampland in the outer reaches of the realm.
Sorry,
Oh, snap.
sorry, Jova.
Okay, you know what? He kept up the act well. I'll give him credit there. A duel to be remembered indeed. At least that part of it is true. For thanks to you, I have completed the ritual for the great summoning of the roses.
Alright, we still need the Welsh theme on.
Yeah.
Again, we kinda brought all the cards to this place.
We could paint the blue eyes white dragon red.
Listen and learn the truth as to why I'll let you survive to this day.
Who are you, Dibs? The queen of cards, like the queen of hearts. Sorry.
The Rose Duelist is an integral part to the Great Summoning. The Rose Duelist is an integral part to the Great Summoning, for only by unleashing absolute power from a duel can the Great Summoning succeed. Fair enough, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Season 3 also did stuff like this. There is only one reason why I came to England and sided with the Yorkist.
To
I
kill them.
needed you! I knew that once the Lancastrians were cornered, they would turn to the High Druid and summon the only one who could wield power that is equal to mine. The ritual for the Great Summoning is nothing less than a high-powered duel with the Rose Duelist.
Well, shit.
I mean, give him credit. That was actually a wise plan, and he sure adapted when we refused to side with him. And the key to the ritual is having all the rose cards here at this hallowed site. In short, your victory is but a hollow one, child.
Well, there goes the bit where he was treating me with respect.
The time has come to savor that which has eluded my clan for centuries. Well, maybe the protagonist literally is a kid.
Probably.
With the coming of the Card Guardian, I will seal a pact that will ensure my rule, as well as those who will descend me throughout the future.
If anything, this reminds me of the image of Kai by yelling at like the child at the table. You're a 4th-rate duelist with a 3rd-rate deck.
All right. I'm actually skipping me who played this in the Forbidden Memories.
Me.
Chova,
Yeah, go.
This is a Randy Savage kind of impression.
Go ahead. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that. Moving on.
Yes, he is here. The Guardian walks this world once again.
We're cheering when we need her.
Welcome, O Great One. To celebrate your arrival, I offer you a sacrifice. I offer you the Rose Duelist.
There you go. Turns out Seto was just using us, and now he's gonna throw it at him.
It seems there is a misunderstanding here. Well, it matters not. The Rose Duelist is definitely a fine offering that only a fool would choose to pass up.
So yeah, now we have to defeat the Card Guardian. I'm not gonna try to pronounce that. Okay. Well, the Card Guardian is the final boss of this campaign. So tune in next time, everybody, where we finally finish the game.
I don't know. We'll see how it turns out, but ironically, I may have actually preferred Seto's campaign. But again, I'll just wait to see how this one ends proper before I pass final judgment. See ya.
See ya.